Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about dog food. Let me show you the steps I take to narrow down my search and get a more concise list in order to make a better decision for my dog. So I think we all know this feeling when you're staring down the dog food aisle and you're looking at your dog and the dog's looking back at you and you're looking at the food and you're looking at your dog and you're stuck in this loop of trying to figure out, why can't my dog just talk to me and tell me what he needs to eat? Because I've been there and I know it's very frustrating when there's thousands of brands out there and they all seem to be pretty good looking. So most commercial dog food is formulated to meet the nutritional needs of dogs, and that is thanks to the Association of American Feed Control Officials, or AAFCO, which regulates animal consumables. Just because this association exists, however, doesn't mean that every food is created equal and it's all going to be good quality. Although some brands like Royal Canin have become greatly successful in marketing their brands as breed specific, there is no need for you to get so worked up about what kind of breed you have. I encourage you to be curious about what it takes to make their brand and their nutritional formulation breed specific. And knowing this information could open up a world of possibilities for you if you are kind of stuck in this Royal Canin, I must feed the Chihuahua dog food bag that has the Chihuahua on it. There are plenty of other options and you don't need to be stuck to that breed specific marketing. So let's say you have a Chihuahua named Teddy, and let's forget for a second that he's actually a Chihuahua, because the most important piece of information that we need is how old is Teddy and how much does he weigh. And if we assume that Teddy is a rescue dog, then the vet will be able to tell you what kind of age range that Teddy is in. Let's say he says Teddy is 2 years old now. This drops automatically puppy food from being an option, because by the time that they are 9 to 12 months old, you should be already transitioning into adult food. And since he's 2 years old, he's definitely going to be in adult food. And the same goes for senior dogs. This is going to put you into the general category that you need to be looking into. And the vet has told us that Teddy weighs 5.5 pounds. So this means that we will need a bag of dog food that is formulated for small or extra small dogs. Not every brand out there makes extra small dog food, so it's best to choose at least 2 sizes, small and extra small, or if you're in between like medium and large, click both medium and large. Or consider both medium and large. I'm assuming that you're shopping online like I do, but if you're shopping at the store, then consider medium and large options or extra small and small options. So this is not only for them to be able to have a better nutritional profile that is formulated for their size, and it's going to be able to be a smaller kibble that is going to fit in their mouth better and be able to be chewed by those little tiny teeth. So far we narrowed it down to adult, extra small, dry dog food. And what about grain-free diets or like limited ingredient diets? So since Teddy is a healthy dog that has no stomach or skin issues, we are going to stick to a diet that is balanced with complete nutrition, which means that it will contain grains. If you want to learn more about what it means to be grain-free and why or when you should be feeding grain-free, I am going to do another video just on grain-free diets. So stay tuned for that and follow for more. Now it's time for you to decide what your budget is. And I know most people are gonna say this is not relevant to whether the dog food is good or not, but you really get what you pay for in the dog food business. So having a budget that you can sustain is very important in order for you to not be changing dog foods and quality of dog food so often, because this can cause stomach upset for you to change quality of dog food very often or even at all. Don't be alarmed if your dog is having a little bit of an upset stomach when you first change their food. That is normal with any change, but specifically when you're going from a very low quality dog food to a high quality dog food does not mean that the high quality dog food is bad for your dog or it's making your dog sick. Maybe the transition wasn't long enough, or maybe there's other factors that you need to consider. But with all that said, now that you have picked the budget, you're going to see what your budget is like now and what your budget is going to be with this new food. Is the food that you're choosing now in the same range? And so that you can have the expectations that your dog is going to either have stomach upset or not. If you're going from a very low budget to now a very high budget, that's a very wide range in quality of dog food, like going from eating McDonald's every day to eating now gourmet food. So think about going from McDonald's to Bonefish. you're probably gonna get stomach upset if all you've been eating your whole life is McDonald's. So doesn't mean that bonefish is bad. It just means that you probably need to slowly transition into that. So picking a middle ground food might be even a better option for you. So if you're at a very low budget, maybe pick a middle budget to try to ease you into the transition of also paying more and for your dog to have less stomach upset. So according to AAFCO, the Association of American Feed and Control Officials, they require a minimum of 18% protein in dog food for a regular adult dog. So if your dog is pregnant, a puppy, or has some other health issues, then you might have to look into that further. But for a regular, healthy, maintenance adult dog that doesn't need to gain weight, doesn't need to lose weight, 18% protein is the minimum requirement. That could be kind of a marker for you when you're looking to decide further on the brands that you are choosing, is whether they have at least 18%, as well as where is that 18% coming from. Sense is very important. Just make sure that the first 5 ingredients are going to have some kind of whole protein, either salmon, beef, chicken, whatever the protein source that you're using. Make sure that it's not going to be a diluted form of protein like just rendered fat or byproduct or meal. So if you do have those things, it is better if the first or few ingredients before that ingredient actually is a whole source of protein. If that's not in your budget, then just make sure that the protein that you are seeing on the bag is actually listed as the first 5 ingredients. So why is that important? Because the first 5 ingredients are what are going to make up most of the content of the bag. So don't get too worked up on whether it has soybean oil or canola oil or sunflower oil. This can get very, very specific onto what kind of ingredients to avoid in dog food. But I just want to have like a comprehensive guide for those that are just like first-time dog owners that don't even know what to even look at. And this is just a way for you to narrow down your choices and make a better decision. If you don't see a whole source of protein in your dog food in the list of the ingredients in the first 5, then maybe consider going to another brand or another price point. So think about what kind of things you can use to narrow the list so that it makes it less overwhelming to compare different dog foods. Once you have made it to this step, then you can use a tool like pawdiet.com, which is a tool that is able to compare different dog foods for you based on different things like age, size of the dog, budget, rating of the dog food. It doesn't have every single brand on the market, but it's a good idea if you are looking at similar brands to maybe check Paw Diet and see if it fits into the profile of your dog. For a more in-depth video on how to decipher the dog food labels, what kind of ingredients to avoid, and also how to read the name of the dog food. There's a lot of regulations around consumables and dog food labels, so I am going to be creating some videos around this so that it makes it a little bit easier for the consumer to choose the right dog food for their dog. So if you want to learn more about that, then like this video, stick around, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!